Okay. Here we are. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. So, we haven't talked about the Epstein files yet. Last week, they released some 3 million new Epstein files, and hey, there we go.
Hello.
Sunshine, welcome to the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's going on? How you doing this morning?
I'm okay. A little congested because my CPAP machine malfunctioned, and I was I had an unsuccessful bowel movement just now, which is sad. Okay.
Now get rid of
I guess
that bitch boy tea and get a cup of hot black.
it's too. I didn't even have time to make coffee. Okay. It's a complete mess this morning. But what else is a complete mess? Well, the Epstein files, right? So 3 million documents now available to the public that weren't before. That's 3 million people. You understand? Like, this is a fire hose of information. A journalist could dedicate the rest of his life, okay, to Epstein at this point. Okay.
Correct.
I'm sure there are a lot of popular substackers out there, okay, who are at once overjoyed by the wealth of information that they now have available to them, but also panicking and how they're going to even digest and process all this stuff into something presentable, right? Um, I myself kind of faced a similar situation, and well, goodness gracious, people are going to want to deep dive on this one, aren't they? And it's just like I can't read 3 million documents. What do I do?
Well,
So
our only choice is essentially going to be to use other people's work to kind of
right,
prioritize and condense the material,
yeah,
and we're going to have to use a lot of AI to process through it.
yeah. I mean,
Oh,
obviously, right. So I guess we should focus on some things that are some excerpts from it. Okay. Um,
well,
let
first
me
let
pull
me.
this.
I want to show this. I want to show everybody this.
Hmm.
Um, and I apologize for the white screen. It's visually obnoxious, but it's how they've chosen to deploy the thing, and it won't work in reader mode like this. The U.S. Department of Justice, the Epstein Library. And it's literally just justice.gov/Epstein. And what's the first thing it asks? Are you 18 years of age or older? Why does it ask that question, Mario? Is there something in the books that says that a person under the age of 18 should not be perusing important legal documents or reading products of the government?
Well, you know, Epstein verified whether or not you were 18 years or older, so I guess it's only fitting that the State Department would as well.
Well, and
Um,
that's a clever allusion to it, but yeah, part of the problem is that of these 3 million, and we use the term documents loosely because
right,
that term includes video, things of that, all kind of video and stuff,
correct.
but it includes just straight up pornography. And according to some of the testimony on that, it's some of it's just like
They censored that.
Jeff's commercial goon stash, where he collected a lot of pornography just generally, and some of it is video of victims being victimized. And
Most of
interestingly, on that count, there's an Obama judge who is now pushing to to have them to not block, to try and force the government to retract some of the documents that were released, making the argument for the victims. And
right.
guys, here's the thing: Jeffrey Epstein is dead. Okay, his victims are not. But more importantly, the more we learn, it looks, and this has always been the case. This has always been the suspicion. The victims are victims of Jeffrey Epstein and someone else. Someone else who, in many of these cases, is still alive, at large, operating freely, and of massively powerful influence. And, I don't want to see the victims hurt, but frankly, I am less interested in the feelings and emotional fracture of individual victims than I am in the destruction of the monsters that hurt them.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Sure.
Because what you have here, these are Obama judges trying to block information because they're afraid of, well, frankly, they're afraid of losing the midterm. But I mean, right now, and losing everything going forward because so much is exposed here. But let me just show you this. Search the full Epstein library. Give me a name, Mario.
Look up Emmanuel Rahm Emmanuel. RAHM EMM. Yeah. Yep.
You sure it's RAHM, not RHAM?
It's RAHM.
Wow. Only one item. I wonder, but okay. From Mark Hoplamazian to Tom Pritzker. Okay, so in this case, it looks like he's just mentioned in this document. He is a bit of a mystery man in that he guards his privacy with a passion. His collection of companies, think of a mini Marmot, that have done fine on the services / manufacturing side, had a couple of investments in European dark fiber that do not work, and I don't think his telecom investments yielded any return. I will have to check my notes to see about scale. He has a lawyer from McDermott, Will, and Emery. May be able to check him out. That sort of serves as his COO and face to the world. I looked at a deal to recapitalize a European telecom deal. Okay. And okay, so we don't even know who they're talking about. The only reference here is Rahm Emanuel knows him a bit as well. But I'll give you this. That right there shows you that Rahm Emanuel was in communication with the people who were mired in this network.
Well, that looks like Illinois state politics there. The Pritzkers, obviously, someone from the same family as the governor. Yep.
Correct.
Yeah. So Joe Booty brings up interesting point. Yeah, that's the article I posted there in the Camario, Chris. It's the fact that in 2019, the night before Epstein allegedly killed himself, okay, someone made a post, an anonymous post on 4chan, stating that there was some weird activity going on there at the Metropolitan Prison there in downtown New York. Okay, and everyone at the time thought it was just a troll. You know what I mean? But it looks like it wasn't. It looks like it wasn't at all, because the actual government subpoenaed 4chan to provide the actual metadata records for the individual and the IP address for the individual who made that post on 4chan. Okay, so just kind of confirming that the stuff you post on the dark corners of the internet, someone's always watching. All right. This is what, and it was Roberto Grijalva. Okay, identified Roberto Grijalva, who is actually a prison guard there at the Metropolitan. What's the name of that prison? It's the same one they have Diddy in.
I don't remember.
You know what I'm talking. That prison in New York. Okay, same one with Diddy.
Not Rikers.
No, it's not Rikers. It's no. So this is what was posted on 4chan. Not saying anything after this, please do not try to dox me, but last night after 4:15 a.m., they took him to medical in a wheelchair, front cuffed, but not one triage nurse says they spoke to him. Next thing we know, a trip van shows up. We do not do releases on the weekends unless a judge orders it. Next thing we know, He's put in a single man cell and hangs himself. Here's the thing: the trip van did not sign in, and we did not record the plate number. And the guy in green dress military outfit was in the back of the van, according to the tower guy who let him through the gate. You guys, I am shaking right now, but I think they switched him out. So, and that kind of matches up because the photos that they'd allowed to be published that showed like a paramedics pushing a body which was ostensibly supposed to be Epstein on a gurney. If you remember those photos,
Yep.
the ears and the nose of the individual did not match up with known photographs of Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, um, so yeah, it is entirely possible that Epstein is in fact still alive, and the fact that the government subpoenaed 4chan to get information on this guy to find out who posted that is quite telling. All right.
Yeah, that that if it was just open and shut that he was absolutely dead, and you know, okay, sure, I'm sure that body was cremated immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a joke yesterday. Homeboy got fired from his job because he kept asking people when they came in the front door. He was the greeter at the desk, and he kept asking people if they wanted to be seated in the smoking or non-smoking section. And they fired him for asking that question over and over again. He said, "I don't understand why." They said, "Because the correct terminology is cremation or burial, ma'am." But
Yep.
but to your point, the fact that the government subpoenaed the records of this poster means that at some level in the government, there is legitimate suspicion about what happened there, which itself is concerning because it means that it means that there are enclaves in the government that are not speaking to one another, that are disconnected from one another, that are doing things that the rest of the government doesn't know about. It means that overall, the government doesn't know what the government is doing. And that right there, that is not a speculation. Okay.
No.
NSA doesn't talk to CIA unless they absolutely have to. Right. Yeah. That all throughout the whole alphabet soup. And famously, right after 9/11, there was a lot of conversation about how interagency lack of cooperation was actually a major factor in allowing the event to occur, because there was intelligence at different agencies that was available that was never coordinated or cooperated to create an actionable intelligence package allowing the event to occur. Now, that I don't want to go down the whole rabbit hole of 9/11 conspiracy on that, but just on the face of it, that shows not just that our intelligence community could be more effective if it were more streamlined and there were more interagent cooperation, but that there is a glaring vulnerability within our government generally, which is easily abused and exploited by bad actors. And it's something that we've seen happen in many other cases. So the idea that there was some shady interagency activity to cover up the non-death of Epstein, to hide him away into some kind of witness protection, especially given all of the very reasonable supposition that he has long been a valuable, essentially intercontinental intelligence asset. Like one of the major conspiracies around the whole Epstein situation is that the guy is basically the nexus of intelligence operations between the Five Eyes network, Israel, and probably a few other European countries.
Europeans of note, absolutely. Yeah, he is the every conspiracy. Okay, said this yesterday. Jeffrey Epstein essentially is a universal puzzle piece that fits into virtually every conspiracy out there. Okay, whether it be transgenderism. Okay, and Epstein having private audiences with the number one trans doctor or butcher. Okay,
Mhm.
the guy who mutilated Jazz Jennings or whoever it is, that horrifically misguided and creature who had its genitals lopped off. Okay, the guy who did that surgery was basically on Epstein's list. Okay, and was was somewhat of interest to Epstein. Right.
Well, like
Then we
yesterday,
have
I made the quip in the infamous thread. I said, so reading through these Epstein files, it turns out that there never was a major Jewish conspiracy to control the world. There, it's not the Jews behind everything. It was just this one Jew.
well, no,
I
not
don't think
quite.
habeas corpus has got the joke, but
Yeah.
no, I was in fact making a joke there.
No, it is it's absolutely Israel. Okay, he reported to Israel, friends with Ehud Barak. Okay, one of his main partners in crime. There are within the current release of documents, there are some suspicious emails where the most likely conclusion would be that Epstein was in direct communication with Netanyahu. Okay, he's confirmed as Mossad multiple times. All right, in the documents,
Okay,
he is absolutely 100% an Israeli intelligence asset, and he was running a international compromat operation. Okay, in both his New York residence. Okay, which is owned by Wes Wexner of Victoria's Secret fame, and also it's a little St. James Island. All right. Um, so no, he's 100% an intelligence asset for Israel. Whether we were gleaning something off that as a secondary, as like a eating crumbs off the table, sure, I'm sure that was the case. But no, he was Israeli.
real
Uh,
quick, real quick,
mhm,
Mario. We've got a
yeah,
comment here. They can't just request access to other agency platforms.
no,
Uh, and
no,
well, Mario, I want you to take a look at that name.
Jackal 28,
If if
the
you
assassin.
took that name from where it appears that name came from, you should know the answer to the question you're asking. And I won't say any more about it connected to the name Jackal 28. Uh,
Isn't it the
but
assassin?
Mario, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So
You should know this.
you can send RFIs, requests for information, to interagencies. Okay, but oftentimes they'll just ignore them. All right.
Correct.
I didn't understand it. I was working for one of the three letters, and I got a request for information came through like from a State Department guy, and you know who they are because their email address is going to be blah blah state, etc.
Right.
Um, just as mine would be, blah blah at
At whatever.
abc.net, right? So I'm like, hey, look over the supervisor. I didn't have much to do because I just got there. Like, hey, I knew about this kind of stuff back in Iraq. Do you want me to answer this email from the State Department? And they looked at me like I had AIDS. Okay, they're like, no, you ignore that shit. I'm like, what? Okay, but isn't this how 9/11 happened? Like, kind of joking, but okay, yeah, we'll just ignore them. Fuck 'em. Never talk to them.
Minev asks a good question. When will the people hiding the files for near 20 years be held accountable? It's a good question.
That will never be. That will never happen. So, what I don't, it is interesting that all this stuff's getting released now when apparently the United States has their finger on the button. Your volume's gone. Chris, you have no volume. You have no volume. I don't know if I don't even know if they can hear me. So I think it's kind of interesting that these files are dropped right when the United States is essentially weighing the option of bombing Iran once again. Okay, Um, I'm I'm fairly convinced that Donald Trump doesn't want to do it. Okay, Donald Trump does not want to bomb Iran, but I think Israel is trying to leverage him into doing it. And you wonder. with the release of these documents, notice one name that has not been like redacted out of all of it. That would be Donald Trump himself. Okay, you can see Donald Trump's name in there. You see Donald Trump's name in some field tips that the FBI recorded. Okay, understand these are like tips. Okay, this is just random information that someone allegedly said. So it hasn't been vetted, hasn't been verified, and it paints Donald Trump in an extremely negative light, saying that he basically he does sadistic things to preteens, and that he's buried there are bodies buried on the golf course at Mar-a-Lago, right? um, the bodyguards, Donald Trump's bodyguards, telling victims that if you don't want to end up like as fertilizer on the back nine like those other cunts, then I guess you better keep your mouth shut. Like really, really salacious stuff like that. And then later on in the documents, uh, it kind of shows what the FBI did about it, and they did a follow up, and it was like the person has deep psychiatric issues, all right, and they're not a reliable witness. So there's stuff in there. You have to understand, like especially these documents where it is witness testimony or just witness tips, okay, sent into the FBI hotline. Not all of that's true, right? Not everything you're reading actually happened. You have to be able to discern what is real and what has been like debunked essentially by the FBI themselves in the course of the investigation. So yeah, just do understand that. Um, okay. Well, I guess Chris's computer gave up and will no longer be performing today. So what else? Do 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 do. See, this is why I need two people. I kind of run on a single track, and then when that track ends, it doesn't automatically dovetail back to the original topic. That's unfortunate. Right. So, there was another major aspect I wanted to touch on, which had to do with. Oh well, not really. All right, guys. I'm not sure what happened to Chris, but I'm not gonna bore you with my rambling a lack of stream of thought. So, all right, guys, take care. Chris.
Okay. It should be okay. You should be able to hear me again. And Aaron Olson is joining.
I was going to try to come and save the day. I was having trouble, but it is what it is.
So yeah, that was fun. The power just cycled out over here. So yeah, I just everything just went black, and I got the machine back up and running. Mario says he'll be back in a minute. Well, shit, everything closed, so I lost all the articles.
Oh, there he goes again.
And I'm back again. Okay. Hey, Mario. Okay, so
one of the things I wanted to
the
mention.
power went out.
Yeah, indeed. So something else I wanted to mention, that the new Epstein dump is breathing a lot of new life, and it's confirming. Well, I don't know if confirming. What do you call it? It's enriching the idea that Pizzagate is real. Okay, Pizzagate, as
Yes.
most of you may recall, very famous internet conspiracy going back to 2015. Okay. Going back to 2015, when the owner of Comet Ping Pong in Washington, D.C., a pizza restaurant and ping pong parlor, okay, the owner of that, James Alefantis, whose name itself is an anagram for Je suis l'enfance, or I love children, okay, who is was declared at one time the 50th most influential man in Washington, D.C., a man who has been seen in family photographs with the Rothschilds themselves. All right. Elephantis most likely is not his real name. Right. This man, this man who, through a series of very famous Instagram posts, alluded to like the darkest, like most sadistic forms of child predation that you can imagine. Right. Not only the molestation, but also the essentially the sacrifice of children to Moloch himself. All right. And there was a connection between him, Hillary Clinton, and the Podesta brothers, right? Most of the stuff that came from Pizzagate came from the infamous Podesta files that were released by WikiLeaks in 2015, where it shows the internal emails within the Obama administration, particularly centered around from the account of John Podesta, who I forgot his official position at the time. But he's a weird. He and his brother are some weird occultists. Okay, who they're powerful lobbyists as well, and former high ranking members of the State Department. They are most likely directly involved, the two of them, along with Ghislaine Maxwell, in the abduction of Madeleine McCain, that little girl with the dichromatic eyes, right, like David Bowie, who was abducted when the family was on holiday in Portugal, and she's never seen again. And there was a lot of mysterious um, gag orders placed around her disappearance and the investigation by the British government. That was very strange, and a constant mention in these new files referencing pizza, okay, and pizza party. I don't know about you, Chris, but I mean, as a 45-year-old man, how many pizza parties do you go to? Not a lot, I imagine. Pizza party would be we got home like really late and no one wants to cook dinner, and these kids are hungry. Okay, that's what we
Right.
that's a pizza party. Okay.
Well, the kids have a birthday party or something. We might order a shitload of pizza, and
Yeah.
But here's the thing: who calls that a pizza party? It's a
Yeah,
birthday
exactly.
party. We happen to have pizza.
Apparently the billionaire set, all right, really take their pizza parties seriously, all right? And these pizza parties can be very expensive. If you remember in the Podesta files, there's this one really mysterious email coming from someone within President Obama at the time's inner circle, talking about flying in $65,000 worth of pizza and hot dogs, okay, from Chicago for the entertainment of his guests. Okay. Pizza and hot dogs are both known FBI code words in the child trafficking sphere. Okay. Pizza being for little underage girls, and hot dogs obviously being for underage boys, right? So lots of references to cryptic references to pizza. Emails circulating about how, hey, you didn't finish your pizza. Do you want to come back later to finish your pizza? Okay, weird shit like that. Or this pizza has already been partially eaten and it won't last long. Would anyone like a discount pizza? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about? What the fuck is this shit? Talking about in the latest files, a U9 red pizza. Uppercase U, the number 9, red pizza. What the fuck does that mean? An underage girl under the age of 9? It means, it means a red-headed little girl under the age of 9 is what that means. Okay?
And
she was sacrificed.
And here's...
You're delving into the darkest, most fucking depraved shit that you could possibly imagine when you're looking into these Epstein files, okay? Some of it is, as Donald Trump said. Donald Trump, he was correct when he said that, hey, you know, the thing about, I don't want to release it all because there's a lot of trash in there. A lot of trash, okay? And there is. A lot of it is just spurious. A lot of it's nonsense. A lot of it is FBI tips from raving lunatics that went nowhere, okay? And you've got to be able to discern all that when reading through this stuff.
But you know, interestingly, Mario, on that point, interestingly, you know, for the last year, we've been hearing Democrats go on about Donald Trump's a pedo. He's in the Epstein files. That's why he doesn't release them. Yada, yada, yada. Turns out there are mentions of Donald Trump. They almost exclusively originated into the file in 24 and 25, right? And you can go look at them and read them, and they're all like victim accusations and witness statements that are followed up with things like this statement was investigated and found not to be credible because the complainant has a long history of lying in this case, or this, that, or a political bias, or a connection to so and so. It's all obvious agitprop. And then to the Pizzagate thing, it's pizza, little girls, because slices of pizza are a triangle. That's where that comes from, and that is a known piece of symbolism used in pedo trafficking.
Yeah, it's known terminology for pedophile trafficking. Absolutely.
And then this last thing before I cut you back loose again to ramble, Mario. The absolute most generous and innocent explanation for the language that we see in these documents is that every billionaire on the planet has a bizarre habit of leaving uneaten slices of actual pizza at random places around the world and then returning to finish that slice of pizza, that individual slice of pizza, weeks later. And I don't know about you, Mario, but as a rule, if I find a piece of pizza laying out on the counter a week after the last time I had pizza, I'm not going to eat it. In fact, if I find a piece of pizza laying around the house somewhere, and I know we haven't had pizza at the house for a week, I'm probably going to yell at one of the kids because why the fuck didn't you bust your spot and clean up your dinner a week ago? It's growing fur.
Yeah.
And incidentally, that is another problem that we see that the Democrat elite billionaire just the whole cohort of them have, they cannot stand to let their pizza sit around long enough to grow fur.
Yeah. If you
I know I'm a monster for that one. I'm going to hell for that.
Yeah. But we have a
It's dangerous to say true things out loud.
yeah, in the Podesta files, there's one particular email where someone says to John Podesta, "You've left a pizza related. We found a pizza related map left behind. Okay, it looks like it might be yours. Would you like to come collect it? Okay." And a map, not minor. It doesn't mean minor attractive person. It means essentially the type of forensic evidence that would get picked up by a black light, okay, found on objects related to that was pizza related, okay. Where is Podesta to these days? What is he doing? Like, he and his brother effectively disappeared off of a map. I don't think that nobody knows, or at least they're not telling. So now I did mention to the audience when you had cut off, okay, before I cut off, that a lot of the stuff you're going to find, the most salacious stuff about Donald Trump was in the current batch of Epstein files, at least so far, is stuff that was provided as tips to the FBI. Okay, so credibility of those sources, of course, being highly in doubt, right? And then there was some. So people are posting that about Donald Trump's got little girls buried on the back nine in Mar-a-Lago. Okay, or Donald Trump was. Forgive me for saying this. Okay, I'm coaching this as best I can. Donald Trump doing manual tension tests, okay, on a group of girls at a calendar girl party with Epstein present, okay, and people are talking about that. But what they're not mentioning is that later on in the very same document, in the follow-up section, the FBI looked into these leads, and the person making these accusations was found to be quite literally mentally ill, and quite literally mentally ill, and not a reliable source. Okay, but they don't mention that. So anyway, we already know what Donald Trump was doing with Epstein. Okay, I did a deep dive on it. Right, Donald Trump in the '90s was the dirtiest pimp you've ever seen. Okay, the nastiest pimp. All right, he's like Fredo from Goodfellas. He was banging cocktail waitresses 2 at a time. My customers couldn't get a drink. All right, he was a whore master. All right, he was essentially a whore master, blowing through nubile 20-somethings. Okay,
You keep talking. I'm going to get some more coffee.
Well, get me some. Damn it, I got this freaking English breakfast shit. So. Donald Trump was he's just plowing through bikini models. Okay, as a 50-year-old man, disturbing, yeah. Moral, no. Like Donald Trump was a nasty man. Okay, a verifiable dog. Probably around the same time that Viagra first came onto the market. So no surprise. So Donald Trump, not exactly not a great respecter of women. Okay, absolutely a philanderer, but I still see no direct evidence, no credible evidence that Donald Trump was a pedophile. Okay, he's just a dirty dog. So Chris, you got that coffee? I'm running without key key supplements right now.
You're falling apart, huh?
Yeah.
I got it. I'm back in business, baby.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Yeah, we just kind of threw this one together this morning. We certainly not on point to do a massive deep dive on the Epstein.
It's one of those things where I don't want to touch the topic really until I've got like a firm grasp on it. Okay, but there's so much material that, and I have a real job. that I don't know if I'll ever get to it. So we might as well just talk about it. Okay.
Right.
It's never going to be easy time. All right.
Well,
Never going to be a great time.
this is a deep well that we'll be mining for some time as well. And so let me back up, and I think it was before the power went out. But
Yes.
Pitt Danny said we need to search the Epstein files for every Democrat who is running for office in the midterm this year. And I'm actually a step ahead of you, Danny. About 4:00 this morning, I sat down with my chat GPT and I said, okay, here's what I want. Give me a list of every Democrat that is running for election or re-election in the 2026 midterms, and rank order them by sector vulnerability. Right? Which ones? So leave out the ones that are running as just like a PR stunt, where they're, if you're in an R+3 or more district, that Democrat doesn't matter. But if you've got somebody, because they're, a Democrat who's running but can't win, I don't care. Anywhere that there's a Democrat that has a chance to win but is vulnerable, is hotly contested, those are the ones we want to look at. And my intent, I'm not going to make any promises here, but what I'm going to try to do between now and the midterms, one of the many things I'm going to try to do between now and the midterms, contracts permitting, is I'm going to try to do a little short segment on as many of those as I can. And so-and-so's running for Democrat in this district. Did you know they appeared in the Epstein files? This appears to be what that tells us about them. And their track record is, because they're a Democrat, I could say this about any of them generally, their track record is they're pro-baby murder. They're pro illegal alien, not pro-immigrant, pro-illegal alien. Because, okay, here's one.
And in the case of Minnesota, they're pro-hostile foreign invader. Even worse.
Well, like I was watching a clip from Crowder yesterday, and he was making the point in Minnesota right now. Here's what's going on, kind of broadly speaking. Tom Homan is taking over in Minnesota right now, and there's a lot of Trump's getting a lot of guff, and there's a lot of victory flags being waved by lefties. Hey, look, they're pulling the ICE agents out of Minnesota. No, what's happening is that Minnesota is bending the knee to Tom Homan and saying, okay, look, we got to cool all this down. So we will start letting you send ICE agents to the prisons and removing the aliens that are there. So what's actually been going on there, and this all comes back to something that Steven Crowder was explaining. He did a good job on it, so I won't try to go too far down it. But what's actually going on and has been going on in Minnesota is, across the country, Trump said, we're going to get rid of the criminal aliens who have committed other crimes first. And the way to do that is we come to your jails where you have arrested people for crimes, and those people also happen to be illegal aliens with deportation orders on them. You hand them over and we get rid of them. It's very efficient. You only have to send 2 ICE agents to pick up one bad guy there. Whereas, and he said, and if you do not do this, then we will go forward with the raids. And that's what happened in Minnesota. Minnesola's not the only one, but Minnesota's where it blew up in everybody's face. In Minnesota, they're refusing to turn over illegal aliens who have already been processed, already have deportation orders, are already supposed to be picked up by ICE and deported, and have then gotten arrested for other crimes. And Mario and I showed you the list. We covered what these other crimes are. We're not talking about people who were picked up on things as trivial as a DUI or simple battery or something like that. No, these are murderers. These are charges include this. This is the one that really gets me: strong arm sodomy of minors.
Yeah.
Right. There was more than one of them that was charged with strong arm sodomy of a minor.
Right.
And the Minnesotans are trying to keep these people in their jails. And Crowder said, I don't understand why they're trying to keep them in the jails. I'm like, It's not complicated. It's the same reason they're trying to get them into the country and keep them in their sanctuary cities to begin with. When the census comes around, it counts those people too. The census does not exclude felons and currently incarcerated people. In fact, because of the nature of record keeping in the penitentiary system, the census loves the jails because they just walk by and say, how many people do you have here? Oh, 1,375? Cool. And that's the question. Not are they here legally? Are they citizens? Are they lawfully present foreigners? No. Is there a temporary protective order? Do they have a temporary protection? No. The reason Tim Walz wants to keep violent, hostile foreign invaders who are guilty of committing strong-arm sodomy against American minors is so that he can steal a House of Representatives seat in the midterm.
Yep. Jackal 28 asks, "Is it not already a thing? Deportation from jail or after arrest? You're not American, are you, Jackal?" So, no, yeah, normally it would be in a sense.
It's supposed to be. These states are actively refusing to comply with the law.
Correct. An illegal gets booked. Okay, his name is going to hit a federal database. He's going to come up as an illegal alien. Okay, and if there is a ICE retainer or ICE retainer on him, that will immediately flag ICE like, hey, they got one of the guys we're looking for. Okay, and then yes, normally ICE representatives show up and they take him off the hands of whatever arresting authority and whatever municipal jail that they're in at the time. Okay, yeah, that's how it's supposed to work. But in a lot of
what's happening now is Minnesota is bending the knee and agreeing to comply with those ICE detainers again.
Minnesota has agreed to meet the minimum standard of state and federal cooperation in regards to criminal aliens. All right, so that's what's.
See, what needs to happen is we need to get big fucking tour buses, right? You drive up to the jails one at a time, and you say, hey, all your hostile foreign invaders go on the bus right now. And then what will happen if we go that route, what will happen is the Warren Warden, that's the word I'm looking for. What'll happen is the warden will say, we have more than this. And then Holman's going to say, cool, bring in another bus. And you just keep sending buses to the jails. You just keep sending buses to the jails and dropping them off on the other side of the border until there are no hostile foreign invaders in the jails. That's where we should have started.
Yep. Combination of pathological out-group preference and pathological in-group deference, if you will. So there are people in the country who hate themselves, hate America, and they are in positions of power. Okay, just bottom line. That's why this country is so fucked up, because we have so many traitors currently occupying seats that hold real power. Traitors, treason abounds in the United States of America today.
Yep. Well, anyway. Mario, this whole show just kind of fell apart when the power went out, so we could probably go ahead and put a pin in her. I know you got to get to work, I'm sure, and I've got plans this morning too. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up today. We'll do better tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow's Firearms Friday. It should be easy to do better.
Dave Methey asks, "Are you okay, Mario?" Yeah, I still have trace amounts of the crud still in me that I am still actively purging out. Okay. Like I said, I'm
telling you, brother. I'm telling you, the hot cup of coffee, right? Like 2 tablespoons of honey. It's too much. It should be too much honey, right? And at least 1 tablespoon of a habanero level hot sauce. You'll be done with it. And then you just go stand in the shower and let the curing happen.
It's disgusting. I'll do the hot toddy. I'm not doing.
It works every time.
No, coffee for medical purposes. Coffee is disgusting. Okay, I prefer tea. I prefer herbal tea, whiskey, lemon juice. Okay, and honey, and copious amounts of honey. Okay,
And that's why you're still sick.
no, it's not. You don't understand. I'm a sin eater. I have to absorb the sins of America. All right, I'm
All right, guys. Y'all be safe out there. Thanks for watching this morning. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.
ciao.
I love how Aaron's just kind of lurking in the back there and every turn.
This is way more fun. The audio
Oh,
is so much
shit! I
better.
forgot he was here. Oh, shit.
Well, since we've got you there, Aaron.
You don't want to fuck with Aaron. Why? Because Aaron will fucking kill you.
So since we got you there, Aaron, you want to get a piece of this action for Saturday night?
Oh, really? I get to participate?
That's what I'm asking. If you'd like to play.